Just saying, it's like the Seinfeld thing when his dentist. He's not really he's upset. Mike, I will relay the.
You're just being your typical self.
The last time we were at this stage, he threw a pen at me.
I missed, but I did throw a pen at you. Yes, pissed me off.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do?
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, but what are we doing?
Canada Mike, are you ready to go?
I was born ready to go.
Okay.
By the way, Mike, thank you for accepting my Facebook friend request, because if you hadn't, this would be really weird right now.
You could be on my show, but you can't be my Facebook friend.
Right.
Yeah, I know. This would be.
It's never too soon to start working on a phony Irish accent.
Yeah.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, cold filtered for a smooth, crisp flavor. Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
We are with Irritable Dad Syndrome, and joining us on this very special episode is Mike Chisholm from the Letterman Podcast. Now, something that we talked about a couple weeks ago was on St. Patrick's Day, my hero, David Letterman, joined Bono and the Edge from U2, and they did a very special documentary thing on Disney Plus, and it was amazing. Mike and I, we live streamed it. Now, Mike Chisholm from the... Hi, Mike. How you doing, by the way?
Peace and love, everybody. An intro so nice, let's shoot it twice.
That was the third time for that one. But so...
Or
but yeah,
thrice.
But yeah, we did it thrice.
Oh,
but Mike hosts the Letterman Podcast.
That was for you, Mike.
Thank you.
Was for you, buddy.
Thank you.
And we wanted to bring him in and do our own little review, because not only is Mike Chisholm a big fan of Letterman, of course he is, he has the Letterman Podcast. He's a big fan of U2 as well. So we were going to go frame by frame.
He's a U2 fan. Okay,
he is a big U2 fan.
This was a huge leap of faith for me, for our friendship, bringing Darin into my home to watch a U2 thing, because one wrong word. So you remember the Flash Gordon, the movie in the 80s with Max von Sydow, and
Queen did the soundtrack,
and he had to stick his hand in that trunk,
yep.
And if he moved the wrong way, the thing would kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you were walking into,
right?
If you would have said the wrong, like, what is with his hat? Get out of my house right now.
I was going to kick you out of your house if you said one smart ass thing about what's Dave trying to be funny this time? Yeah, that wasn't going to work.
And then it was another leap of faith when I agreed to do this, bring another third party, bring a third person into our relationship,
to our fold, as it were,
to discuss something that's holds such value to me. But now that I know he's a U2 fan, it's like, what the hell, man? This is going to be great.
Yeah, Canada Mike, he is a big U2 fan. So, Mike, I mean, you watched the special before I did, and you didn't give me any spoilers. But I mean, what did you think?
I absolutely, and listening to you, Mike, talk a little bit about the trepidation of bring these things together. It reminds me of the Reese's peanut butter cup commercials of old. You got chocolate, my peanut butter. You got peanut butter, my chocolate. It's kind of like that a little bit. And it turns out it's all great, and it tastes really, really good together. It turns out David Letterman and U2, and this isn't the first time they were brought together, but brought together in modern times in this venue, I thought was absolutely spectacular. They've had a relationship over the years. Back to the Late Show, there was U2 Week and things like that. And I feel like this here was actually a continuation of that. I felt the appreciation that Bono and the Edge had for Dave. And I think with that appreciation, combined with the appreciation that Dave has for music, it was a spectacular special. I loved it. I've watched it multiple times. I will watch it again. I'm a fan of the 40-Foot Man.
So as a U2 fan for 32 years at this point, I've reached the point where I bore myself talking about them. Like, I'll start talking about it, and I'll see my wife, God bless her, she's had to listen to so many stories about Bono and the Edge and Larry and Adam and I feel myself die a little inside when I tell the stories for the 100th time. So I thought, I have to watch this. I am legally, contractually obligated to watch this special because I'm a huge U2 fan. David Letterman, for me, was the late night person when I was growing up. Johnny Carson was for my parents or whoever. Mm-hmm. Conan came later. I love Conan, but Dave was the man.
Absolutely.
And knowing that they bonded so well when they'd been on a show before, I thought there's no way in hell I'm going to learn anything new about anyone in this. And lo and behold, I was shocked. Well, I learned the names for Adam and Larry, Jam Jar, Mrs. Burns. But also and I'm going to dig deep here a little bit, but just for 30 seconds, bear with me.
Okay.
There was a book by U2 by Bill Flanagan, I think it was, written back in the 80s when he was following them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Edge was telling him a story of hanging out with Keith Richards. They were hanging out with the Rolling Stones, but particularly Edge was hanging out with Keith Richards. And Keith was playing some of the Stone songs, and then they would go to the Edge, play something from U2. And he said, I couldn't really play anything because it's all delayed single notes, and we didn't really have any solos. And there was so many different effects and things that it was hard for me to come up with something. And I couldn't help but notice that they spent a lot of time showing them in the pub and playing the songs and just stripping it down to just a guitar and Bono and like 30 other people, but still the breaking the songs down to these clear things. And I just had a moment when I was watching it, I was like, he's finally hit a point where he can sit down in a group of people with the acoustic guitar and jam out the U2 songs, and you can recognize them and sing along with them. Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
It was really cool. And and Mike, tell me this, but from a Dave perspective, I was watching it, and for most of the time watching it, I kept thinking, younger Dave, this wouldn't have worked. This wouldn't have worked with Late Night with David Letterman Dave, because he I don't know if he just wasn't capable of doing a serious interview at the time, but he did very few serious interviews at the time. And it's not like this Disney special was a serious interview, but he definitely took the music seriously. He took Ireland seriously. He absorbed the culture, and he wasn't just there he clearly wasn't there to crack jokes. He was there to learn, to love, and to absorb the U2 and the country. And I was blown away with it. I just really, young Dave wouldn't have pulled this off. Old Dave absolutely did. Because
can I slightly contradict what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't think young Dave would have been able to interview this incarnation of U2. I think young Dave would have been able to interview Live Aid U2 very, very well, but it would have been a completely different context. There would have been, like Dave interviewed a lot of musicians back then.
Yeah.
But you think about where U2 was back then. I think a part of the magic here is that you've got two sets of legends in their prospective field coming together. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's the key, that what you're talking about here. Bono and the Edge have been through all sorts of stuff, ups and downs and adventures and things. So too has Dave.
Yeah.
And I think the magic of this special here is that they've both been seasoned for a very, very long time before they came together.
Yeah. They've aged well together.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I can't wait to get in this with you. Like I loved it so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing, it's like we're watching this special and we know it's Dave and it's going to be the guys from U2. And the first thing we hear Dave say is, "Hey, I'm looking for peanut butter cups." And I loved when he goes into the hat shop and he tells the guy, says, "I'm looking for two hats. One of them is this big, and the other guy's head is like this big."
Yeah.
And a wheel of cheese. Let's get a full wheel of cheese.
I want a wheel of cheese.
So Bess and I were watching it the other day, her for the first time, and the part where she just completely cracked up was when they were given the tour, and Dave holds up his hands. "I was told there would be a hot meal."
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's incredible. And I've never been more wrong, because when Johnny Carson retired, we saw him I think twice. He did a special for Bob Hope, and then he appeared on The Simpsons. And then he walked out on Letterman, but he didn't do an interview. So we saw him three times after he retired. I was convinced that since Johnny Carson was David Letterman's legend, and that they were very similar in many aspects of their lives and their career, that when Dave retired, we wouldn't see him again. And boy, was I wrong. And so the first thing that Dave did after he left the Late Show was that National Geographic special where he went to India to talk to them about their electrical problems and different forms of energy, and he killed it. I mean, he interviewed the Prime Minister of India and absolutely killed it. And it was amazing. And this special on Disney Plus reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah. He went and talked to the locals. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dave interacting. Like, it's that fish out of water thing. Dave interacting with locals. We saw the same thing when he interviewed President Zelensky as well a couple of months ago.
Yes.
Interacting with the Ukrainian, going to a stand-up to a comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
And that was operating outside of the curfew, and seeing Dave interacting with the Ukrainian people, and anytime that Dave does that, there's a certain charm to it.
Yeah.
Anytime he gets out of New York and you see him somewhere else, there's a real charm to that. And I think it speaks to the way that Dave can relate to almost anybody. I mean, he's so folksy in so many ways. And then you combine that with the whip smart aspect. But then in this special here, clearly a lover of music as well. I mean, we've always heard that and been told that, how much he loves music. But that was very evident here. The questions that he asked, I thought were really poignant. And he surprised me too. Like, he surprised me with a couple of the questions. There's one question. I mean, we can wait till we talk about it. But I mean, I'm going to bring it up now. When he asked Bono if Bono ever embarrassed the band, I was like I live streamed it, and I was literally like this. I was like, listening to him ask that. What a question to ask.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of it takes guts to ask a question like that to one of the biggest rock stars on the whole planet.
Yeah.
What an amazing question
and he
that was.
answered it too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They went through a long period where they took themselves too seriously, and they paid the price for that. And
I
then
agree.
and then they went through the Octung Baby, Zoo TV transformation, and then they were poking fun at themselves left and right.
Yeah.
So they kind of exist in this universe now where they love to poke fun at themselves. I mean, when we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the biggest thing on display were all the rejection letters they got as they were starting out. Bono loves to tell stories about how they failed.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of factored into it. You have Dave is a very disarming, comedic interviewer, and Bono and the Edge, particularly of the four, those are the two that are always the most ready to make fun of themselves and make fun of the band when they can. And but then both of them, both Dave and Bono and the Edge, can on a dime go from making fun of themselves and making you laugh to getting really serious. So I'll admit,
Profound. Absolutely.
I was very misty-eyed. I fought, in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, where the cop forces the tear back in. I thought, I'm not going to cry in front of Darin. I'll be damned.
No, I wanted to bring this up.
I will be damned if I cry in front of Darin.
Because we were live streaming it as well, and a lot of it was us going,
yeah, the video is it's a very enrapturing video of us just staring at the camera.
I didn't think that aspect of it through enough.
And I tried to throw
because I wasn't going to talk the whole time because I wanted to see it and hear it.
Yeah,
it's like, shut up, Mike. I'm watching Dave and you too.
And periodically at the beginning, I would try to say something to make it engaging for whatever losers were actually watching us watch it. And so then it got even worse because you just see 5 full minutes of us staring, and then you're saying, that's a big thing of cheese. And then nothing. And
but I could have swore I heard you sniff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could have swore that I heard you could get verklempt.
I got very verklempt.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
my live stream was very similar. I turned on the Facebook Live, and it was so janky. Like I put the iPad to a place where it could see the TV and just kind of see me in the foreground.
Oh, you showed
and most
the TV.
of it. I did. I showed the TV and like I literally had the moment of when it wasn't available. Preview, back, press it again. No, preview, no, back, press it again. There it is. Play. Yeah. Like I literally started playing it at that moment at midnight Pacific time, watched it go over, and I started playing it. And half of it was just me doing this.
Oh yeah.
And but then I'd start to say something a couple of times. And as I'd start to say it, I'd hear something profound. So I'd shut up. And so it just disjointed. I kept it up on the Letterman Podcast Facebook page just for posterity, but it was ridiculously unentertaining because the show itself was so enthralling.
So my point, and Darin him being present caused me some issues because I'm
Me
fighting.
being present always causes you issues.
It does. I'm fighting tears, and my favorite
Yeah.
song, not just favorite U2 song, but my favorite song is Bad.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
then Edge started playing the first few chords of Bad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're gonna make me cry in front of this man.
And then the footage during it as well. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's your favorite U2 song of all time.
It is.
Wow. That's awesome.
And they played
That's
that
awesome.
live when we saw them in Louisville. And it's an incredible song, and they really nailed it.
Yeah. Well, I gotta ask, what is your favorite U2 song?
Love is Blindness.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Actung Baby is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
And Love is Blindness is I'm enthralled by that song.
So Actung Baby is my favorite album.
Yeah.
And I love Love is Blindness. It's kind of a guy that I used to work with brought up a point. You know, we were listening to the album, we get to the end, and he's like, why do they always end on a song that makes you want to slit your wrists? I'm like, okay. Wow.
They don't.
Well, he made me think. I was like, no, they don't. I mean, Joshua, well, it ends with Mothers of the Disappeared. Okay.
Yeah.
Pop is Wake Up Dead Man, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah.
What's the last song on All You Can't Leave Behind?
That's what I was just
Grace.
thinking.
I think it's Grace. It's a little
See, my
uplifting.
favorite U2 album is All That You Can't Leave Behind.
Mhm.
But
That's
I
a great album.
believe my favorite song of theirs is All I Want Is You. I think that's their most beautiful, their most poignant. The only problem is that the ending of it goes on like an extra 22 minutes. Like, okay, fade out. This ain't Freebird. Come on. Just dissolve out the song. Okay, the song's still going.
Yeah.
Still going.
Hey, what happened?
I have a tradition. As soon as one of Dave's new shows ends, I send an email to Dave's guy, who is Dave's executive producer. And every single time I do that, and it just, initial thoughts, whatever, I bug him. It's an excuse to bug him. And in this one here, I said to him, please release a Blu-ray
Yes.
of all of the footage
That's what I was
of
gonna say.
both of all three performances. Because there's three performances there, right?
Yeah.
That clearly have many sets. And I mean, I would love to see all of the songs that were played in the pub.
Yeah.
I would love to see all of the songs played in the in that main room there. And then
I'd also like to see any deleted scenes we have of Dave also just milling around Dublin.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm
but can you
hoping,
imagine being
praying
in the
that
audience
they-
for
yeah.
all three of those?
They never
Like-
showed him buying the hat. They showed him buying everything else. We saw him buying peanut butter cups
He
for
bought a
God's
wheel
sake.
of cheese.
And then he just shows up with an Edge hat. Nobody it's nowhere. Like, where did he get that?
Yeah. I love when they played that song, the Invisible, and it was amazing. And Dave says, face. I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
And, Mike, I don't know if you are a member of the U2 fan club on Facebook, but Mike and I, we're members of it. And here lately, we have been pissing off people in the U2 fan club.
It's so easy. It's so fun.
And something.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's great.
It's so easy
It's
to do.
U2 friends, 'cause there's all kinds of
It's like
different
taking candy
groups.
from a baby. It's so easy to do, and it's fun as hell.
What's it called?
U2 friends.
U2 friends.
They're a bunch of humorless bastards.
Yeah.
They get pissed
Oh,
off.
I'm in.
So
I can't wait. Is it I love U2 Is it with the I Heart U2?
No,
Is that
it's
the
just
one?
U2 friends. I'll send you a thing
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Oh no, I got it.
You got
Okay,
it?
we're
Okay.
joining this thing.
So,
So I thought it would be hilarious. You remember when U2 forced everyone to download the album on the iPhone?
he lives in Canada.
Songs
He
of
may-
Innocence.
he may not have
Absolutely.
heard
I
of
really
it.
love that album too,
Yeah.
by the way.
And it pissed everybody off. And then in the U2 friends group, it's been like the Civil War. It's been the North versus the South. Every once in a while, someone will post a rant that goes on for 5 paragraphs about how awful and terrible Songs of Surrender is, about how they were listening to it and 3 people they know and care for died in front of their eyes because they were listening to this. And then
Wait, Songs of Innocence or Songs of Surrender?
Songs of Surrender. And then right after that, I'll connect the two here in a minute.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
right after that, someone will post how literally Jesus himself came into the room and sang the Songs of Surrender with them while they were listening to it.
Yeah.
And they're going back and forth. And so then I thought it would be hilarious. I got on there and said, I would love it if Bono and the Edge would force Songs of Surrender onto everyone's iPhone. Within seconds.
Oh, hell no.
Within seconds, this woman came on and said, can we stop talking about this, blah, blah, blah. And then my wife jumped in and started a fight with her.
You don't want to piss off Mike's wife.
Then no, I left the thread because I was like, I've had enough hilarity for the day. I came back like a week later. There was another fight. Some guy came in and called her a humorless bitch and they were going, not my wife, the lady. And they were
okay.
going,
I was about to say.
No, and then they were going back and forth. So we randomly just inject things. And then Darin, you did one.
So one of the great things about the special, which I had predicted in the trailer for it, I saw Glenn Hansard was going to be joining.
Yes.
And I've been a fan of his for quite some time, ever since the movie Once came out. And the song that he did that won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, just amazing. But I couldn't remember his name, and I hadn't seen him in a while. I'm like, oh, it's that guy,
yeah.
you know. So I went on the U2 Friends group and I said Glenn Hansard should be the 5th member of U2.
What the hell did you just say?
Period. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And there's why. And then someone says in all caps, no. And then someone else like, he's quite a busker, isn't he? I don't know what a busker is. I don't speak Irish or Scottish or whatever country these people are from.
Yeah.
But it caused quite a stir. And then Mike caused another stir because he was complaining about or mentioned that they're releasing all these albums. One's clear, one's purple, one's
red,
green,
one's green, one's yellow.
And people are collecting them, and it's crazy. But oh God, no! Don't call them out on being crazy collectors.
I made a joke. I said at this point the black vinyl is now the collector's edition because you can't find
Right,
it.
there you go. Yep.
Everything's color. And then I got mansplained to twice.
Yes.
I actually there's a post to me on there that starts out with actually.
Real fans.
Real fans understand
would know
that the more colorful versions are the ones that will not be in print years from now.
Oh man.
So join the YouTube Friends group.
It's
I'm in.
fun.
And anytime you need someone to help you with any hijinks, I'm your man. That sounds like a lot of fun.
So when I offered to you, did you post Glenn? Is it Glenn Hansford? Did you post a picture and tell him that Larry's really let himself go lately?
Oh no,
You haven't done that?
No,
Okay.
I'm going to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Adam. Adam's really let himself go.
I'm absolutely going to. So.
Okay, I got to ask you a question, Mike. Wasn't U2 originally called the Larry Mullins Project or something like that? And it was Larry who was...
There was he started the band. They were originally called The Hype.
The Hype,
I have
but Larry
t-shirt.
Mullins couldn't sing.
No, they were called the it's got an F, the firm, the something. Because there's a Letterman clip on YouTube now.
Okay.
Where he interviews the four of them when they were on for a week.
Okay.
And they mentioned the original name of the band.
Okay.
And it was a pretty good name for a band.
I know that. Well, they were also The Hype.
Okay.
And then they became U2.
Yeah.
So I have a T-shirt somewhere in this house that I am going to. So I plan to go to one of the Vegas shows when they do the Octane Baby thing, and I have a Larry Mullen Jr. band shirt in this house somewhere. I'm going to dig that thing out. And we also offer one on irritabledadsyndrome.com at this point. I haven't advertised it because I don't really feel like it's appropriate for me to advertise a Joke U2 shirt. But the front of it, it says...
This is news to me. I didn't
you
know.
You haven't seen this?
No.
The front of it says...
this is our podcast.
Here we go.
Really tell me.
We said,
this is a conversation we'll have offline. Yes.
So the front of it says Bono, The Edge, Jam Jar, and Mrs. Burns. And the back says the Larry Mullen Jr. Band. And
cool.
I love it.
I want one of those.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. Now hold on. You Mike, you said something else that sounds like breaking news to me. And by the way, I'm going to put this up on the Letterman podcast first. Breaking news about the Irritable Dad Syndrome podcast that this shirt exists. But you said something else. When they go to Vegas and do their Actung Baby thing?
Yes.
Gay?
Yeah,
what's that? I haven't heard of that.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
What's going on?
Okay, so
you've been under a rock.
Oh wait, is this the Residence thing?
The Sphere,
the resident in the Sphere. Yeah.
But it's going to be all just Actung Baby?
Well, they're going to. They've said that they're playing the entire album.
If it's like
it's going to be Actung Baby themed.
It'll probably be Actung Baby, and then too many cigarettes.
Yeah,
and then like 8-song set or something.
Maybe. I don't know. So what I do know about it is they don't have Larry because he's recovering from surgery. So that the U2 Friends, that was the initial split. That was when it became brother versus brother.
Yeah.
Lines were drawn in the sand. They did say that there's going to be a tribute to Zoo TV at the beginning, and that through the course of the show, they will play all of Achtung Baby. So Edge has stopped short of saying, Edge has actually said in an interview, I don't know if we're going to play it in sequence. I don't know if we're going to mix it up. I think we're just going to do what we want to do, but we will play every song from the album.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Crystal Clear Party Ice. It's not a party without party ice. And it's not crystal clear party ice unless it's actually crystal clear. The way party ice is supposed to be. Have you been to a party where the ice was cloudy? How did that make you feel? Like a loser. Crystal Clear Party Ice is really clear. And it comes in a bag. Crystal Clear Party Ice, now available in crystal clear, semi-clear, and the all-new opaque. Visit our website at www.partyice.com and find out how you can win $1 million worth of crystal clear party ice for your next party, wedding, or get-together. Ah, party ice. Back to you, Duck Lips.
Can I tell you what I want to see more than anything? I want to see them, and I want to hear them play live. Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was the ending of the Zoo TV. Right now, my entire body is electric with goosebumps just thinking about that moment of him where he goes into the falsetto.
Oh yeah.
For Take My Hand at the end of Can't Help Falling in Love. I love that.
Well, especially now, if you listen to that now,
as far as covers go, it's way up there.
If you listen to it now, because if you're used to, like I am, Bono's voice, and then you go back, like how it is now, and you go back and you listen to something like that, it scared the piss out of me.
Absolutely.
A couple of weekends ago, I had just a YouTube mix going, and it was all most of the new stuff, and then somehow Can't Help Falling in Love with You slipped in there, and it was like everyone in the house stopped doing what they were doing. It was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Angelic thing coming from the speaker? Well, that's what I think they were saying. I don't know what they were actually saying.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And hearing them finish the show, like that's the thing about Zoo TV that was just so magical. You know, you left humming Elvis. And I just oh my gosh, I wish I could keep doing this, but I got to go over to the other show now.
I got you.
It sucks. Can we do this again?
We can absolutely do it again. I still have to
I miss you guys. I love the first time I appeared. I love what you guys are doing. And if I come on again, it will give me another opportunity to talk to Mike about the word thrice. And I just feel like that is just it's too good not to do. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much.
Well, we love you too. And I want to come back on your show because I still have to show you my Letterman magazine collection.
Absolutely. Oh, dude, there's so many reasons for you to come back on the show.
Well, you've had like every single person who's ever worked for Dave has been on your podcast. And
not yet, but we're working on it.
I'm proud of you, and secretly it pisses me off, and I won't say that publicly. But I'm very thrilled for you and for the success of the Letterman podcast. And I'm like, it's just every single time, you know, because next thing you know, Pat Farmer's going to be there. I'm like,
yeah, we're talking to Pat.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you this.
But it's got a very
and we've got a very special.
I'm honestly thrilled for the success of your podcast.
Thanks, Darin.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. You're the first guest that we ever had on.
I know.
And I appreciate you very, very much. We've got a very special anniversary episode that is being recorded in a couple of weeks here. Our anniversary is on April 20th.
Okay.
We've got a very special episode coming out that we're not saying who it is, but a very, very, very special one. So
very cool.
Thank you guys so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep making the world a better place, because that's what Irritable Dad Syndrome does. And we will talk to you guys later.
All right, thanks, man. Mike. See you. Take care.
Peace and love, kids.
There you go. That's solid entertainment.
Real quick before we go, you mentioned U2. They've got a new album out, and
SOS, help! We've ran out of ideas.
Yes, and I was afraid to tell you this because I know you like everybody in my family, and I'm not going to tell you which member it was.
I like most of the people in your family.
Okay, I thought it was everybody.
I'm kidding.
We're driving down to vacation, and we get to a point where there's nothing on the radio, and
you hit the last resort.
And I thought, well, I'll put in the U2 CD that I bought. I put it in, and the first song on there is one.
Okay,
and it's within 10 seconds. Somebody from the car said, "This is not good." This is not good. And I thought, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what, you have, I mean, you haven't really given it a chance.
Yeah.
Someone else in the car said, I like it.
Okay.
And okay, well, this isn't like we're going to judge it or whatever. And I finally, okay. And I turned it off.
Okay.
And then it's like, well, you can still listen to it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I was uncomfortable.
Yeah. Then you don't want
to. I just like, I'll listen to it at another time by myself. And now, granted, One is one of my least favorite songs on there. Okay. And I get it. It's like I wasn't crazy about the but yeah, we're 10 seconds into it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I go back and forth on the new album just for a minute there.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine if somebody doesn't like the new album. Yeah. I think, me personally, I think the new album is more for like super fans or people that have been.
Yes.
This song, it means more. They've changed the lyrics of the songs. They've changed some of the music, and the concept the way I understand it, the concept of the album is we've grown up, we've grown older. Yeah. And now we're looking at these through different eyes.
Yeah.
So the people that are going to get the most from it are people that loved the song when it first came out, and now they hear a different perspective from the same band.
Yeah.
So I can understand somebody who really hasn't been through that whole journey not really liking it.
I am a huge fan of John Mellencamp. I've got everything. I've seen him live 4 times. I've got all his stuff, all of it. And well, I don't have the thing that he did with Stephen King. Yeah, that was really What? He did a play with Stephen King. Okay, and the soundtrack to it is very weird. You can't dance to it. Anyway, Mellencamp is famous for so he like I don't know, 20 or 30 years into his career,
he's famous for sucking on chili dogs
behind a Tasty Freeze. Yeah. He re-released his first 10 albums, and each one had a bonus track on it. Okay. And so you can go, and if you go to Spotify or wherever, you can listen to the bonus tracks. An acoustic version of Pink Houses or an acoustic version of Small Town. And he was, it's like, we'll do the rockin' version and then throw out. And I love those. And so it's like, and I don't say, oh, that sucks compared to how it normally is. It's a companion piece.
The original song still exists.
The original song is going to be the one that I listen to the most, and that's going to be the one that he performs when he does live. And by the way, John Mellencamp, if you're listening, the suspenders are not doing you a favor. Yeah. They're not. You look like you're 95 years old with the suspenders and the pants that look like fishing pants. But I digress. But yeah, the new U2 album is a companion piece.
I have a specific example, I'll say. So Oxygen Baby is my favorite album. Yeah. And Until the End of the World is one of my favorite songs. I love the original. When they play it live, they go hardcore on the solo, and Bono on the Edge do this whole thing. It is a rock song. The one on the SOS is an acoustic. The original is kind of, it's not, I don't say it's a dark song, but it kind of is. But the one on the album, the new album, sounds kind of hopeful. Yeah. Kind of happy. Yeah. The last 2 minutes are like happy and joyous, and the original is not like that at all. Yeah. And I enjoy both of them, but I enjoy the new version a little bit more than I think I would have because of the contrast with the older one. Yeah. And yeah, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. The original, I prefer the original, but I like the sparse version of the new one, and it's kind of like dusty and Johnny Cage. What's his name? Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash. Yeah. It's almost like they said, Johnny Cash could have done this a lot better. Yeah. But he's dead, so let's do him like Johnny Cash would have done.
Johnny Cash's version of One is a masterpiece.
Great. Yeah,
absolutely masterpiece.
And when he did Hurt, Trent Reznor said, "This is his song.
It's his song now." Yeah, absolutely.
Recording stopped.